As Coach Rutz blows out the candles for his 45th birthday, he'll also look to put out the fire of hope that's burning inside the Pee Dee IceCats after some new acquisitions. Will the changes made add some killer instinct for the Cats, or will the Crustaceans continue to cruise at home? Good evening, Crustacean Nation, and welcome back to the tank. My name is Mateen Rad, and we're coming at you live on YouTube and Sportfy as the Pee Dee IceCats take on your Athens Rock Lobsters. The Piedmont Athens Regional Pregame Show starts right here and right now. The Rock Lobsters come back into the barn for a 3-game weekend after a 6-point trip to Baton Rouge, where one win was much easier than the other. After the Cardiac Crustaceans edged out the Zydeco on Friday, the comfortable Crustaceans came out the next night and won 5-1. The night was highlighted by Joe Mack's first professional hat trick, coming naturally for the rookie. Malik Johnson logged a pair of assists in his first full 60 minutes since returning from the Allen Americans. Eric Neely scored a goal in his 6th straight game, 7 goals in that time, and tied himself up for the team lead in Geno's. It was a goal that also saw the first point for Brandon Walker as a Rock Lobster. But sealing it all up on the defensive side was the Great Wall of Montreal, William Lavallieré, who stopped 35 of 36 for his 13th win of the year. That places the Quebecois at 2nd in the FPHL in goalie wins. Rock Lobsters are still within striking distance against the Snakes and could take a Continental Division lead with a win and a moccasin loss. Meanwhile, the IceCats are now on the outside looking in for the playoff picture, as we've recently learned that there won't be a wild card game for the playoffs. Instead, the top 4 teams will make it to the playoffs from each division. The ECHL, sometimes she gives and sometimes she takes. Athens recently got Malik the Marvel back from the Allen Americans, and Carter McPhail will start tonight in his return from his ECHL loan to the Greenville Swamp Rabbits. But it was announced yesterday that Michael Greco would join former Rock Lobster head coach Steve Martinson in Frisco, Texas with the Americans. As for the Akins Ford engine starters deployed by the birthday boy Garrett Rutledge tonight, the aforementioned Carter McPhail is back between the pipes. In front of him is the captain, Carter Shinkarik, along with this week's Lobster Tales guest, Joe Colatarsi. Make sure you stay tuned during the second intermission for that one. As has been tradition lately, the Joe Mack line will get the first shift with Malik Johnson on one side of the rookie and Philip Virgili on the other. Lines look mostly the same as last game with the substitution of Kyle Powell as the 10th forward. For the first time since the addition of Brandon Walker, both he and Matt Garcia will be in the lineup. Starting lineup is brought to you by Akins Ford. Make a deal on a new pickup truck today with the biggest and best Ford dealership in the Peach State. Give us a call at Akins Ford. We send it up to the ice for the national anthem being sung today by Athens First United Methodist Church. Athens First United Methodist Church with the national anthem. Take a quick look at the tail of the tape. It's been a mixed bag lately for the IceCats over the past 10. They have a rock-solid shorthand special team that can strike with a man down. Who can be the more disciplined team and stay out of the box tonight? That just about does it for tonight's Piedmont Athens Regional Pregame Show. Piedmont, real change lives here. "20 minutes on the clock for the start of this one. This has become a rivalry series between these two teams. Getting the start tonight for the Pee Dee IceCats. In net will be Matt Sales. The goaltender situation has been one to look at lately for the Pee Dee IceCats as we see the goalie matchup. Sales 3-3 on the year. The return of Carter McPhail, whose goals against average and save percentage have just been elite this season. Joe Mack, face-off specialist, will get us started. Alexander Ledkoff and Dominic Della Savita, two new additions for Pee Dee head coach Gary Graham, will get the start in the first shift tonight. Philip Virgili with a tip in at the center of the point. Lofted ahead by the new D-man, Della Savita. From Ledkoff, bounces down in front of Wilson. Wilson tries to center it, gets cut out by Joe Mack, slapped away from Wilson. Shinkarik up ahead. Brilliant move there by Malik Johnson, who then sprawls out and then lofts it off the glass in the far corner. Philip Virgili helps it on its way back to the end boards. Raziloff to the neutral ice. Matt Garcia now has it on the tape of his stick. Neely with a takeaway on Wilson. Lowell, heavy in his stick handling and bumps off Jordan Popoff, who's been a nuisance for the Rock Lobsters this year. Dominiks Marcinkevics, his first game back since his suspension against the Rock Lobsters. Neely with a whipper of a wrister that goes wide of the near side post. Poked away from Dominiks Marcinkevics by Garcia. Here comes Neely the other way again. Little boost in the skates of the veteran. Centering pass! No, it's not! It's all the way in! Coming off of his first point as a Rock Lobster, it's Brandon Walker who passes it in for his first goal. You really couldn't ask for a better start for the birthday of Garrett Rutledge. Neely doing the dirty work, goes down to the sheet. Brandon Walker, those two combined for Neely's goal last game against the Baton Rouge Zydeco, but this time it's Brandon who's the beneficiary. Rock Lobsters lead 1-0. Athens with an early lead that they'll no doubt welcome. Dominic Dumas tries to glove it down at the point. Maye with work to do, gives it up. Pee Dee looking for the immediate answer. It's cleared off the goal line. Jack Johansson with the defensive intervention to keep the game at 1-0 after the opening goal from Walker. Garrett Milan getting in behind Charlie Bedard, but the IceCats with possession again. McPhail whips it around. A calm and comforting presence even when outside the crease for the Rock Lobsters. Back in his return from the ECHL loan to the Greenville Swamp Rabbits. That one's over the head of Sales. It was lofted from the neutral ice. Lukarioff can't settle. Here comes Wilson in front of the penalty boxes. And he'll get whistled for an icing. Eddie Jennings wondering who he can chirp in between the pipes for the Pee Dee IceCats. It's Milton, Georgia native Matthew Sales. He has the lone Pee Dee win for the IceCats this year against the Rock Lobsters. Rare face-off loss for Mack. Can it pay off for Trevor Lord? Another dump in from Pee Dee. Brandon Walker slaps at it. Alexander Legkoff, new addition from the Danbury Hat-Tricks, and he has really made waves over in the Empire Division before getting traded over from Danbury. Virgili looks like he has a bit of extra zip after he was ejected from that last game against Baton Rouge for not having the fight strapped on. Shikarik forces the turnover, whipped into the midsection of Sales. Sales potentially with his first save of the game as he was beat on the first shot from Brandon Walker. Going to be the first professional goal in the career of Brandon Walker. 14 games in the SPHL this year with the Peoria Rivermen and the Quad City Storm. Jesse Lowell creeps in over the face-off dot. But Jurgenite slaps it off the glass. Neely turns it over with the pinch at the half wall. Popoff pops one up, taken away by Maya. Johansson, pinball pass to the red line. Jesse Lowell on the forecheck. Dominiks Marcinkevics got tied up with Johansson, and McPhail will freeze. Hope you listening at home will excuse any coughing you hear on the broadcast. Still dealing with a little something, and I think a lot of you who are watching at home are as well. The ick is going around in droves. Doesn't look like the Rock Lobsters are affected, though. An early lead. Let's see if the IceCats can cause some trouble. The last time these two teams met, the Rock Lobsters took an early lead in the first period and never really looked back. A 3-1 win. McPhail, that was his last start for the Rock Lobsters as well. Van Durken wins it in his own zone. Pass rides the boards, coast to coast from Lowell to Maye, sent in by Neely. Vadim Frolov takes a hit from his former teammate and current compatriot, Gleb Banderkin. Both Russians, both having played for the Danbury Hat-Tricks. McPhail takes a risk, puts one off the boards. Captain Fantastic casts a spell on the biscuit. Kyle Powell, 10th forward tonight, back in the lineup after not making the trip to Baton Rouge. Milan trying to make a play from the hash marks. It's going to fall to Powell. Powell using that big frame to protect the puck. Milan saw where Glukaryov was, but the IceCats are going to be able to pop the balloon of pressure. McPhail gloves it. It was like a pitcher that was warming up as Nathan Carl tried to test the leather of McPhail. Glukaryov had to give up possession with 3 Pee Dee players around him. Loose puck picked up by Dominic Delasavita. Here he is again, the Trenton, Ontario native, recently acquired from the Watertown Wolves in exchange for Konstantin Chernik, big man Russian. Brandon Walker trying to reach in there on Ledkoff. Ledkoff, 19 goals, 24 assists, 43 points. Joins the IceCats as the team's youngest player and becomes the highest scorer on the team. Without having played a game, this is his first contest. Actually scored against his new team in the IceCats last game. Mack kind of out of nothing, forcing Sales into an uncomfortable situation. It was off the side netting, centering pass. Mack just cut out by Jurgenite. Lord trying to stick it through the skates of Walker. Johnson trying to chase it down. IceCats not exactly moving with a free flow through the 3 zones. Patrick's Marcinkevics, that twin telepathy pays off for Dominiks. Big hit at the far wall, and McPhail makes the save on the sprawling shot from Dominiks. I believe it was Brandon Walker who completed that hit. But it's the referee who's in the face of Eric Neely. We actually saw Neely and Dominiks Marcinkevics in close conversation during the warm-ups, the 2 former teammates with the Atlanta Gladiators. We go to our first commercial break. Good Guys lead 1-0. The Rock Lobsters from Brandon Walker's first professional goal.
As a hockey player, my health is everything to me. When I got injured,
I didn't just worry about missing games. I worried about my future in the sport I love. From the moment I met you and your team at Piedmont Athens Regional, you gave me confidence. Your expertise, your care, your support, it all reassured me from the very start. Because of you, I've been able to recover, rebuild, and get back to playing the sport I love. Can't thank you enough for what you've done for me and my future. Your help means the world to me, and I'll always be grateful for your part in keeping my dream alive. Thanks to Dr. Graff and Piedmont Athens Regional, I get to keep playing the game I love.
For those of you just joining us, well, you're late, and the Rock Lobsters lead 1-0 off the first professional goal from Brandon Walker. Just his second game at home here at Akins Ford Arena. His first came on New Year's Eve, his Rock Lobster debut. Helpers from Neely and Banderkin, as 2/3 of that line have apples early on. Banderkin got the first touch there, and it looks like we're going to have an old classic fight here. Immediate shed of the gloves, Shinkarik and Dominiks Marcinkevics. This one's been brewing for quite some time. Shinkarik looking for retribution. Shinkarik just leaves him down on the center of the sheet. Captain Fantastic, he never plays for the name on the back of the jersey. He does it for the logo on front. What a stellar start to bring Crustacean Nation to its feet. Carter Shinkarik gets a hold of the collar, starts throwing rights, and then a little trip up there from Dominiks Marcinkevics, and Shinks ends up on top. For those of you who don't know the history, a 6-game suspension for Dominiks Marcinkevics after a boarding hit against Dustin Paralat that still has the Saskatchewan native on the injured reserve. Sometimes retribution isn't always immediate, but it still often comes. And Lowell throwing the body around on Jurgenite and then throwing it around on Popov. Maye sends it to the net, falls down in the slot. Popov taking it away from Lowell. Van Durkin to the point. Jack Johansson unable to complete the pinch. Carter Shinkarik, a skilled guy, but has been known to drop the gloves, is proficient in it, had a great fight in Columbus earlier this year, or late last year, I guess I should say now. And we're going to have a penalty against Popov. Rock Lobsters go to the Paloma Park power play. If the Rock Lobsters score on the quadruple P, fans can unlock free churros at Paloma Park for 24 hours through the FanSaves app. Carter Shinkarik, more points than any other defenseman in the FPHL this year. But he's also a crucial part of the power play, and the Rock Lobsters are going to have to go on the man advantage without the man who's been the great equalizer on the man advantage this year. The Shinkarik slapper has played a huge part for the team's special teams, especially in the month of December. Milan wins it. Johnson draws it back to Maye, who will be the lone defenseman. Mack around for Virgili, stops it in the trap. Awkward bounce off the glass. Gladly taking it away is a good two-way forward in Dennis Zajac. McPhail didn't recycle it in time, and the clock will stop with 13:01 to go in the first period and about 1:40 to go in this Paloma Park power play. Athens now have to do a face-off out of their own zone. Slapped ahead by Milan on his weaker side, but he's made that play pay off so much lately. Out of play into the Pee Dee bench. Been an exciting start for those who've made the trip out to Akins Ford Arena. Early goal, less than 2 minutes in from Brandon Walker, his first as a pro, and then Carter Shinkarik and Dominiks Marcinkevics take care of the beef the old-fashioned way. Big shout out to Ann Sawyers, who's watching in the Sunshine State. Hate to hear that you had to make a trip out to the hospital. Hope you're all better now. A big fan of Carter Shinkarik, apparently, so you must have loved the start of this game. Can the start get better? Malik Johnson drops it for Milan, but Mack takes it away. Milan makes a dart to the near side post. Getting smacked at by McGill Diaz. Mack from the left circle splits the ice with a pass to the right hash marks for Maye. Malik Johnson out of the corner. Milan running the point now. Great move there by Joe Mack to get himself free and then tries to poke it over the shoulder of Sales. Loss in the side netting, pops out to Virgili, who tries to poke it past Sales, but Sales will cover up. Still a little less than a minute to go on this Rock Lobster power play. Lowell against Zajac here on the faceoff. Zajac, a very good faceoff man. And he'll win the draw here. Man from Gomel, Belarus. Maye, good job there keeping the puck in play in the offensive zone. Van Durken battling for all he's worth. Maye keeps it in. Glukarioff in the corner. Second unit on for the Rock Lobsters on this power play. But Maye, I believe, has had every second on the man advantage. And here he is again. The Burlington, Ontario native who can just glide through the neutral zone. We saw that on New Year's Eve as he set up Joe Mack. Poked away from Lowell. But it finds Lowell. Maye and Lowell with a combination play. Van Durken steps on the brakes at the half wall. Power play coming to an end here soon. Glukarioff fakes a slapper. Finds the Moscow Mule. Neely has the bucket popped off by Popoff, and he'll have to return to the bench. Rock Lobster power play over. 0 for 1 early on in the night, but important number on the scoreboard is the 1-0 lead. Mack and Glukarioff both trying to settle it. McGill Diaz's stick gets snapped. IceCats looking for a slashing call there. Doesn't look like they're going to get it. Well done there by Kolatarsi. Finding that puck in the scrum, and McPhail with a near dive out to his left. 10:28 to go in the first period. I want to thank all of you who are tuning in, whether it be on YouTube or Sporfy. But if you're watching on the official Athens Rock Lobster YouTube page and you haven't already, make sure you like the stream, subscribe to play a part in our world-famous chat, and ring the bell to stay notified of all future Rock Lobster content. Kolatarsi spinning out of a sticky situation, but there still might be a shot that comes for Nick Gullo. A lot of fight in that dog, standing at 5'6". McGill Diaz rings one around. Glukarioff to the point. Little snap shot from the slot. We've got another penalty coming up against Pee Dee, as there's a heavy collision from another Pee Dee newbie, Matthew Gilbert, who collided with Carter McPhail. We go to the commercial timeout. After this, Rock Lobsters on their second power play of the night. Can they double their advantage?
Rock Lobster fans, this is Brad Akins. Akins Ford has led the way for years and keeps on growing. From offering the Southeast's largest inventory to being #1 in the nation in Ford truck sales, we're here to serve you. Want to customize your ride? Our Wild Willie's accessories team can make it as unique as you are. Make it legendary. Need service? Our fleet of over a dozen mobile service vans come right to you. Akins Ford and Winder. We really are closer and bigger than you think. Rock Lobsters, let's go.
You know, I'm going to do something that probably many of our fans won't like me doing, but, you know, I have to give credit to Dominiks Marcinkevics. You know, he knew that the piper had to be paid, and it feels like that's what he did. He knew he did something wrong back in Florence, South Carolina, where his boarding hit against Dustin Paralat. He may never be forgiven from a player's side or from a fan side, but he paid the piper tonight. Dropped the gloves earlier on in the period against Carter Shinkarik, who, to steal a line from Dominic Dumas, stood on business and stood on the logo and swept Dominiks Marcinkevics to the box. Goalie interference, the call against Matthew Gilbert. Rock Lobsters already on their second power play as we start the second half of this first period. Jesse Lowell on to the backhand, gets it to Van Durken. Zone entry from the Russian, finds his compatriot in Daniil Glukaryov at the far half wall. Maye wanted to ride the line to Neely, thought better of it. Glukaryov makes a little U-turn. Van Durken in the right circle. Good combination there between the two Russians. Maye catches, sails up high. Lowell trying to shove it in. Van Durken. The man from Moscow marauding on this right wing. Great little move, gets it back to Glukaryov. Maye with a shot into the glove of Sales. Well, Kevin, just glad that we can take care of Mama Sawyers any way we can. The big cheer you're hearing is for Mama Sawyer's favorite player, Carter Shinkarik, who returns to the bench, as does Dominiks Marcinkevics after their fair fight. It's great to see a fight that doesn't have anything more than 5 minutes of penalties involved. Athens in the offensive zone as there's a minute to go on the power play. Milan, Mack, Virgili, Johnson, and Shinkarik. A welcome addition to the power play. Shinkarik back from serving his 5 minutes. Milan against Patrick's, and I believe Patrick's just got kicked out. Popoff will take it instead. The D-man taking the draw. Milan got a stick on it, but sends it all the way back to McPhail. Backhands it up the boards. Clever little one-touch pass from Virgili. Springs a 2-on-1. Milan goes for the shot himself as Mack was winding up the one-timer. Joe Mack, what a last couple of weeks for the Mack truck. Little tip from Malik Johnson, takes it to the end boards. Pee Dee able to get it out. They might do more than that. Houston Wilson. Loose stick handling though. Little 3-on-2 on the rush. Malik Johnson centers it. Shinkarik tried to get under it, and Sales gets over it. That's one of the best moves we've seen on the power play. Little 3-on-2 as Malik Johnson looks to add on to his 2 assists that he got last Saturday against the Baton Rouge Zydeco. His first 2 points since returning from the Allen Americans. His return to the ice on New Year's Eve brought Crustacean Nation to its feet in the tank, but his return was also short-lived. Milan, Powell, and Dumas, the 3 forwards, in the last 10 seconds of the power play. Zajac, Belarusian going on a little adventure, and he'll get to know the glass a little bit better after the shoulder from Powell. I think the Rock Lobsters will have some penalty time here. The big bang gets called for elbowing in the corner. So the Rock Lobsters go to the Leslie Jones Law penalty kill. Strong, skilled, strategic defense. Still 1 second to go on the penalty to Matthew Gilbert. So even strength for about a second. Gilbert heads straight to the bench, and the IceCats will get lured onto the ice. Confirmation of the elbowing call against Powell. Neely makes a play to himself off the boards, but he's upheld by his former teammate Dominiks Marcinkevics. That's actually Dominiks' former captain, Eric Neely. Neely on the search for a goal in his 7th straight game. Rock Lobsters, offensive draw, but on the shorthand. Shinkarik just asking a question of the pads of Sales, who makes the save that's easy enough. That's something I've seen from the IceCats is they're not exactly explosive out of their own zone on the man advantage, but they're right behind the Rock Lobsters on power play numbers this year. Razilov gloves it down at the point. McPhail looking like he was going for the goalie goal there, even with Sales in the net. Good puck movement here. Lord back to Razilov. One-timer whiffed on by Dominiks. Patrick's there to help reset and recycle. Wilson can't settle it. Falls to Lord. Far side half wall. Wilson stops it with the skate. Kolatarsi loses a stick. I think that one hits the bar and then goes 5-hole on McPhail. Patrick's Marcinkevics down to a knee as they've evened up the score on the power play against the Rock Lobsters. Carter Shinkarik furious about something. Not sure what he may have seen on that one. Official going to the off-ice official. It looks like we'll do the face-off. Patrick's Marcinkevics ties the game up at 1 apiece. Play resumes with Bedard lofting one that knuckles past McPhail. A scrum of many bodies on the boards. Gets the glass slappers up on their feet. Van Durken to Lowell. Doesn't field it cleanly. Gullo up ahead for Nathan Carl. Great defensive play there by Brandon Walker, who scored his first professional goal. Less than 2 minutes in. Lowell scanning. Neck on a crane. Shinkarik gets just enough of a settling touch. Walker, Neely kicks it up into the safety netting. Looking more like a game of hacky sack for Neely there. .553 left. Rock Lobsters lead in shots on goal, 10-8. Athens opened the scoring through Brandon Walker's first as a pro. Patrick's Marcinkevics equalized on the power play. Dominic Dumas with pushing and shoving on Jordan Popoff. Dumas having broken Popoff's nose in Florence. Kukaryov, almost a great play into Milan, but Milan with his back to the Russian was going to be tough for him to take it between the skates and get it onto the tape. Icing against Athens. Face-off taken down 200 feet. Two former teammates going to do battle on this face-off. Houston Wilson and Garrett Milan, both of whom played under Pee Dee head coach Gary Graham as members of the Pensacola Ice Flyers. Della Savita. Two Pee Dee players on this shift without name bars, the two newest additions, Della Savita and Alexander Legkov. Nice little shift here with some offensive zone time for the IceCats. Wilson finding ice. Glukaryov pokes it out into the neutral ice. Hard off the end boards, tricky for McPhail, but he makes it look easy. Glukaryov, backhand to Mack. Poked in by Dumas. Glukaryov to make the play on it. Rips the shot! Stand on business! Stand in the crease! Score another one! Dom Dumas having his first multi-goal game as a professional 2 games ago against the Baton Rouge Zydeco. So his 3rd in 3, Dumas pokes it through the 5-hole of Sales. Sales is going to want that one back. It actually looks like it got past the toe of the Milton, Georgia native. The boy from Boise snatches a lead back. Rock Lobsters back on the front foot. His New Year's resolution has been to stand on business, and hasn't he been doing that in 2026? Gullo tries to chest it down like a soccer ball, and here comes Matt Garcia. Back into the lineup tonight, scans from the left circle. Lofts one over to the far side. It's off the boards as he was looking for Malik Johnson. Bedard out of Southampton, New York, skips one like a stone wide of McPhail. Back off the end boards by Patrick's Marcinkevics, the Pee Dee goal scorer. Malik Johnson doesn't get the pass right, catches McPhail up high. Falls for Bedard through traffic. Deflects into the end boards. McGill Diaz. McPhail trying to handle it. Puck still loose. Dumas from Glukaryov and Mack. McPhail catches something up high there from Gullo, but he also catches the puck. Go back to the media timeout. Rock Lobsters now lead 2-1. Walker and Dumas. They've had some of their own personal history to make recently, and right now they're in charge in the narrative in the tank.
At Athens Stonecasting, Don Hill oversees acres of sculptures poured from thousands of molds, endless possibilities for neighbors who envision unique gardens. Craig Meeks at First American Bank and Trust caught that vision. Together, Don and Craig create solutions that keep the business teeming with new gifts for the garden. Vision. It's one of the core convictions we live by. Learn more about what we stand for at firstamericanishere.com. First American Bank and Trust.
Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but soon your toilet will clog again.
What if it won't flush?
We'll always repair it.
Nobody puts baby in a flooded corner.
Maybe I should still fix it.
You had me at hello. We've got same-day service.
Plumbing completes me.
Garrett Rutledge poetically said in our Coach's Corner interview this week, standing on business means standing on business. That's exactly what Dom Dumas did on his goal to retake the lead for the Rock Lobsters. Dumas is somebody who does whatever's asked from a real team guy, a real glue guy is what you call him in hockey. He's the reason Athens is up. IceCats have already proven that there's a response in them, but can they get one before the first intermission? Shinkarik makes a play defensively behind him where the puck finds Van Durken. Lowell trying to make sure it got lost in the skates of Jurgenite. Van Durken with a hit on the forecheck against Popov. Popov might have some bumps and bruises at the end of this one. Did Johansson keep that one in? Yes, he did. Too heavy for Van Durken to settle. Jurgenite with a hit on Shinkarik. Johansson deflects off the stick of Dennis Zajac into the crowd. Jack Johansson out of Milford, New Hampshire. Someone who mentioned to me how excited he was to celebrate NASCAR night tomorrow night. Soaked in some races when he was a boy. NASCAR night happening tomorrow here in the tank. We'll tell you all about it later on. Lukaryev, backhand no looker, was on to the tape of Milan. IceCats take it away. Can they convert defense into offense? Lord has to take one off the glass. Dumas staples him to the boards. Dumas gave it up to Wilson, whose shot went wide on McPhail. Through the body of Dumas. McPhail signed, sealed, and delivered to Jack Johansson. Lukaryev back to Bedard. Virgili trying to find Milan. Puck pinballing around the near side, and Bedard will start taking it south to north. McPhail, how many plays has he made out of the crease tonight? Lukaryev, a bit of trickery on Bedard, but whiffs on the shot. Still an opportunity. It's there at the post. Sales let it through the 5-hole. Pokes back out. What a play from Lukaryev. It's another Mack attack. 4 in his last 2. Is there any stopping Joe Mack over the past couple of weeks? Showed off some wicked shots in Baton Rouge, but this time he just puts himself right place, right time. Lukaryev battling at the near post. Sales caught out in no man's land as Lukaryev got it back out in front. This was the scoreline the last time these two teams met. We've got it here in the first period. Crustacean Nation with a little Friday night treat as Rock Lobsters lead 3-1 with a minute and a half to go. Lukaryev with his second assist of the night. Patrick's Marcinkevics. It's a good pass in a slot, no one there to put the punctuation mark on it. No doubt Matt Sales would want some of these back. Great passing play. Patrick's Marcinkevics gets upended. Athens going back on the penalty kill, but what a play there from Patrick's as he tried to beat Carter McPhail. Patrick's Marcinkevics, he's so good at kind of creating a shootout goal-like opportunity for himself on a break, and sometimes he creates breaks from right before the slot. To be able to have that kind of speed is game-changing, no doubt. And let's see if he can change the game once again on the power play. Already has a man advantage goal on the night. Athens repeat offenders here on the Leslie Jones Law penalty kill. If you're a repeat offender, you get caught in a little cell, make sure you give Leslie Jones Law a call. Razzaloff to Lord. Great shot, but it's off the pad of McPhail. I've talked about how beneficial it is to have both goaltenders in Lavallieré and McPhail, not only because of the kind of caliber of player that they both are, but because they give players different looks. Lavallieré more of the big body, able to look big in the crease, and McPhail more of a guy who's a little bit more lively outside of the blue. Kolatarsi gets called for the hook. Sales, another mistake here. Mack looking for someone to pass to, but instead time runs out in the first period. He will not be on hat trick watch after the first 20 minutes for the second straight game, but it's another goal for Joe Mack. Let's take a look at how the first went. Brandon Walker opened up the scoring. Catches Sales through the 5-hole. Kind of the name of the name of the game right now is Sales would probably won a few of these shots back. A poetic moment. Dominiks Marcinkevics, after serving the 6-game suspension for his board against Dustin Paralat, pays the piper, and he doesn't do it reluctantly, despite going back first on the ice against Carter Shinkarik. Sales gets caught out once again, doesn't get to the loose puck, and Dom Dumas with another goal to his name. That now puts him on 4, and all of his goals have come now in the past 2 months. Lukaryov battling for all he's worth on the near side post. Didn't get what he wanted on the shot. Not enough Russian mustard, but then poked it loose from the post and then poked it to Mack, who sent it home where it belongs. Cookie into the oven. Rock Lobsters then lead 3-1. Couldn't ask for a better start to the birthday of Garrett Rutledge, who celebrates turning 45 tonight. Had a chance to talk with him just a few days ago about all of the goings-on for the Athens Rock Lobsters, including that 2-game road trip for the Baton Rouge Zydeco. Also, we talked about his Buc-ee's order and how it almost got left in Baton Rouge. Welcome in, Crustacean Nation, to another episode of Coach's Corner. It's where you can learn more about what's happening on and off the ice for the Athens Rock Lobsters. At the time of recording, Athens is coming off of a New Year's Eve shootout victory against the Columbus River Dragons in a weekend sweep of the Zydeco in the first trip to Baton Rouge this season. As always, I'm Martin Rad, and I'm joined by head coach Garrett Rutledge. Rutsy, we'll cover the 6-5 shootout win first, where we were down by 2 goals twice in the game. I've talked a lot about the cardiac crustacean moniker for this team on the broadcast, but my first question for you is just how much has your blood pressure risen over the past month?
A little bit. Well, it wasn't exactly the game plan going into it, having that many penalties and chasing the 8-ball kind of the game. I kind of won one of those games where we were going to dictate kind of where the ice is sloped in our favor, but it felt like we were chasing the game the whole time. But once again, like you said, the cardiac crustaceans, they're just you never know when we're going to turn it on, and we can score at will here and very fast, and things can turn. So the emphasis was pretty big on defending our zone and stuff after that game. Like I thought we just weren't good that game, to be honest. But again, we found a way to win and put on a pretty good show, I guess, for the fans here.
Early penalty troubles for the team, and it paid off for the River Dragons. They ended the night with 3 power play goals. Ryan Hunter has been the danger man for them on the man advantage. What does it take to stop a shooter like him when you're down a hand?
Yeah, I think you got to cheat a little bit. You got to set that defenseman out there, making sure he's in the shot lane. You're going to give up something as you're down 5-on-4. So we made a couple adjustments, like trying to shut that one-timer down, making him beat us down low kind of thing. So, yeah, he's a good player. Obviously, they got a good power play. So that's kind of the message with our group. You got to stay out of the box if you want to win hockey games going forward within the playoffs and stuff. It's kind of the old regime of last year. We need to figure out time management on the clock kind of thing, and making sure that we're not taking the dumb penalties and putting ourselves down a man all the time. Like, it wears guys out. You put those 4, 5, 6, 7 minutes extra shifts, and the guys that penalty kill, it takes a toll on you. Throughout a season, it takes a toll on you in a game.
It's one of those games where the discipline got better as the game went on. Is that the boys learning themselves that, okay, we need to stop taking stupid penalties? Or are you on the bench kind of stressing the discipline as one of the ways out of the trenches when the going gets?
Yeah, again, discipline. You got to, sometimes in hockey, you've got to turn a cheek to kind of those punches in the face, and who's going to be willing to lay it on the line and sacrifice for the Athens Rock Lobsters night in, night out. And I didn't think we did that. We came out with a little bit of a chip on our shoulder, maybe a little bit slow-footed, where Columbus is flying. I knew they were going to come hard on us on New Year's. Again, like, they probably didn't really want to exactly be on the road on New Year's, so they're going to come with a chip on their shoulders. And when you're a little bit slow, you put yourself behind the 8-ball, chasing the game. And obviously, once you start chasing the puck around, you're going to start sticking, hooking, slashes, getting on the wrong side of the puck. And obviously, the arm's going to come up. So there's a few things in the game that we'd like to change. But once again, the boys stayed the course, and they battled through. It was great to see.
I think Devin Maia has been extremely impressive over the past couple of weeks. He came off of that 3-assist performance against PD and then ended up scoring his first pro goal against Columbus. Also brilliantly stick handled through the neutral ice for Joe Mack's go-ahead goal at 5-4. Devin and me had a conversation about where he was talking me through his recruitment to this team. And if I recall correctly, he had heard good things about you and the organization, and he had actually reached out after leaving Nantes in France. Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah, he reached out. He's a guy that I've coached against when I was coaching Oakville Blades in Tier 2 in Toronto. He was playing for Markham and stuff. So he's a guy that I knew a lot about already, how he played. He hasn't changed his game at all. He's still the exact same player. So it's a pleasure to have him. He's a good person. Again, on and off the ice, he's a big presence on there. He has a very cool, calm demeanor to him, too. He doesn't get too amped up. He's just plays the game the right way between the whistles, but obviously he's a big body and he can make plays, and when he comes up the ice, he's you can hear him coming and you can feel him coming. So it's a great we got him, and he's been awesome to watch him get his legs under him here in Athens.
It's an important goal for him to get him started in his scoring resume, if you will. The Rock Lobsters won in a shootout a couple weeks ago against the Pee Dee IceCats, and you said that it was one of those situations where you kind of looked around the bench and said, all right, who's going, who's shooting? Did that happen again, or were you happy enough from the 3 shooters that you had last time that you just rolled them back out?
Yeah, I was pretty happy. I like to use our big boys, I think, in the shootout, but it's kind of like who's up, who wants to go kind of mentality. Obviously, Neely's going to go because he's pretty good at it. So I know Shinks keeps looking at me on the bench because he wants an opportunity, but we'll hold him back to when we really need him. So credit to Phil. Again, he's the money man in the shootout. That's what I was told, so that's why we went with him.
I'm sure there are things that you may have wanted to go differently about that game, but once again, you end up with a win from the jaws of defeat. The next morning at 8 a.m., you got to go on the bus for a 10-hour bus ride. Is there really a time for you after the game to let the boys know what you wanted them to improve from that performance, or do you let the boys enjoy their New Year's Eve and think, we'll talk about this later?
You put the work in. We got the win. We enjoy the night as it's New Year's. I think everybody likes to go out and have a good time. And obviously, we were leaving at 8:30 in the morning, so there was a couple creatures straggling in. There was a few boys getting on the bus there that could have, I think, needed a little bit of rest. But it's good for the guys to unplug and unwind and go have some fun and just be a young adult in this world. And I think we put a lot of emphasis on winning hockey games, a lot of pressure on them to compete every night for the Athens Rock Lobsters, whether it be pro hockey or anything. So I think it's important for the guys to let their hair down a bit and get out and have some fun and enjoy the city of Athens, what it has to offer. So they were all there at 8:30 in the morning, raring to go again, and we jumped on the bus, and they slept till I think the football games all started coming on the bus. We flipped it on, and then we did the patented stop at Buc-ee's, I think, to clear that hangover food, and I think everybody was happy. Obviously, in the afternoon, we didn't like the result in the games, but you know what I mean? It was, I don't know. I thought the boys had a good time coming into Baton Rouge. You were on the bus. You know what I mean? Everybody was kind of hanging out, having a good time. Just part of being a hockey player.
Well, I'm glad you brought up the Buc-ee's trip that has been a routine since we've gone to Louisiana this year. It's great to see the boys kind of experience that place, I guess, for the very first time. Can you take me back to your first time at Buc-ee's, what you recall about it, and what is your haul when you go into Buc-ee's?
My first time at a Buc-ee's was probably the one we stopped at when I was coaching Carolina. So my first thing is like the gas pumps. It blows me away the amount of gas pumps that's there. So yeah, it's a pretty crazy place. I like how cheap things are, but it's like a one-stop shop for a hockey team. It's unreal that you can let them get off and everybody can kind of go do their own thing and get away and kind of just walk around, take everything in and get what you need for the bus ride. So, but my go-to now is I get I get one of the wraps, like the brisket, like Philly wrap kind of thing. But I've also discovered this brisket mac and cheese they have. It's kind of on the side wall over there. That was unreal. That was my first time getting that. And then I run a little bit of a prime drink, hydration drink, or whatever they have there. And that's pretty much it for me. Maybe some meat, cheese, a little bit in there, beef jerky. I don't know. Sometimes I'm off the wall, things like that. So, but no, it's good. I think it's fun to be fun to stop at those places. And obviously you see the boys laughing around. You see one of the mascots was sitting there pretending that it was just like a big stuffed animal leaning on the truck. And I think a couple guys walked by and it moved and jumped at him and scared him. So that was pretty funny too.
It's a must stop going to Buc-ee's on the way to Louisiana. Fast forward to getting there and the events in Baton Rouge, they really started to unfold even before the games. At Friday's morning skate, the boys were on the ice for only 10 minutes before arena staff said that they would have to leave the ice. I think it's important to separate the team of the Zydeco from that situation, as I don't think it was the team's fault at all. But how much does something like that impact preparation, especially when you're on the road?
Yeah, first of all, it's one of those things in a pro hockey league, like you're supposed to have morning skate at the end of the day. So whoever's blame it is, it's unfortunate that the rink itself and the team don't see eye to eye. I guess they're kind of battling each other. So again, we're thankful for what we have here in Athens. Obviously, the relationship with the rink and the office staff and being able to have that ice pretty much at will when we need it is amazing. Kyle, the arena guy, does a great job for us, preparing the ice and making sure that the corners and the edging's all done, everything's flat, and our ice surface is beautiful. So, but as for, I don't know, our team and stuff, some guys like morning skate, some guys don't. I thought it was pretty funny. I get kind of fired up about it. I don't know. I know Mr. Neely, he's not a big morning skate guy, so he was probably the happiest guy in the whole building. So, I don't know. It's just one of those things. The word adaptable I've used, I think, in the Federal Hockey League. You just got to be prepared for anything. 1 minute you're playing in practice, and the next minute you're getting tossed off the ice. So it is what it is. We battled through. Again, Friday night wasn't exactly our best showing ever, but once again, the old Athens Rock Lobsters, never turn your TV off because we're never out of it.
You said it wasn't the team's best showing. Do you think the lack of morning skate played any part in that?
No, I think it was just kind of how we're dealing with our opponent, our preparation a little bit. Just kind of coming off the bus, long day, nice weather. I don't know. Could be various things. But again, there was a strong message the next night, Saturday night, just about how we need to start coming to play when the puck is dropped. Like, we can't wait the 10, 15 minutes, and it goes from goaltending out. So it was that was the message, and the boys come out, and they were hungry, and you could see obviously in the first shift how hard we came out.
Well, in the Friday game, Eric Neely got us started. It was a fortuitous bounce that found him in a dangerous area, and when Neely gets in that kind of area, he's not missing. He now has goals in 6 straight games after Saturday. He was walking me through his shot a little bit in the hotel lobby and how it's all release, no power. This is what he says. But Coach Kyle said, look, believe me, there's quite a bit of power in that shot too. Is there anything that you try to do to put him in more dangerous positions, or does he find those pockets himself?
He finds those pockets for sure. You also put him with 2 playmakers. You got Jesse that is hard on a forecheck, can make plays, and he's always moving his feet. You see him in the O zone, D zone, neutral zone. Jesse can drive a line. Then you have Gleb that's got very good hockey IQ, and he's very aware of his surroundings. So then you get Neeler that's played a lot of hockey throughout his hockey career, and you put those 3 together, you're going to get success. They work off each other very well. They have no ill will of holding on to pucks. They just want their line to succeed, and you can see that. So I just think we found a good little partnership in this line, and again, they just keep driving each other. So it doesn't matter who's down low, who's the high bumper guy. They're all just out there making plays, and obviously Neeler gets it on his stick. He shoots in this spot every time, and usually he doesn't miss.
On the defensive side, all 3 of the Zydeco's goals came on a breakaway or an odd man rush. How do you think that Baton Rouge were able to carve away the openings that they had?
It's a little bit of cowboy hockey. I think I don't know. To be honest with you, it's not exactly how we drew it up, if I'm being honest. Again, you think you start playing some of the lower teams finally, and we start thinking it's going to be point night and kind of going to get our cookies and going to be scoring goals at will, and it's just going to be easy breezy out there. And your game starts going into a little bit of bad habits. And again, you start leaking outside the dot line. And I mean the dot line throughout the ice rink. So there's 4 dots down the line. So the defensemen are supposed to stay in between those dots at all time. If you don't want to get beat on a breakaway, the D need to stay connected. That's kind of the message as a coach. You want your defenseman to stay connected between the dots. Everything that goes on the ice surface as a defenseman, you want to keep them to the outside of the dots. So on the board side. So at any point, if the guy gets a step on you and beats you, the goalie comes out top of the crease, cuts the angle down, and you track to the back of the post or the strong side post, and you try to cut the angle down. So you limit the chances of scoring kind of thing. So, but once you let a player into the inside of the zone, he's now got the whole ice surface to work, and now the goalie is got to come out flat-footed, and you can either deke, make a play. So it's not ideal. So the message was make sure we're port checking the right way, have our sticks and lanes, make sure we have back pressure, finish our checks, and stay between the dots and stay connected. So it's just small details. Sometimes players need to get reminded on that any team at any point can jump behind you, and you got to establish yourself and make sure you're boxing guys out quickly.
You and me have talked an awful lot about special teams lately, and in that game, Baton Rouge took the lead on a shorthand with 4 to go in the middle frame. I thought they fought tooth and nail to protect that lead until 2 quick penalties gave us significant time, 5-on-3, and it's the captain that ties it up. How big has Carter Shinkaric's slap shot been lately? It's kind of the great equalizer for you guys on the power play.
Yeah, we're getting set up now, so we pretty much know it's coming at some point, especially when guys are going to take penalties. You know, that mindset, you could almost see them deflated as a fragile group. Like when you're one of those teams that's lower in the standings, yeah, you could be having some success against a good team, but you also in the back of your mind know that this game is never over and something's going to happen. This team's going to have a little bit of a pushback at some point. And then we started picking up the pace, and then you put them in bad positions to take penalties. I think they took a delay a game, didn't they? Or an interference or something like that. But anyways, doesn't matter. But our guys can smell blood in the water, and obviously you get a little bit of a TV time out there too, I think, when that came on. So we were able to get all of our big dogs out there and kind of let them just take a break and take a breather here. But then you make a good play and you put good players, the puck on their stick, they're going to find the back of the net eventually here.
Dominiks would score the game-winning goal for his first ever multi-goal game in his professional career. I tell you that to ask you this. What does standing on business mean to you, Coach?
My New Year's resolution is to stand on business.
It means standing on business. It's like you're ready to go at any will time. You are one with your team, and you're just standing on business. Anything that the coach or anybody might ask, you're ready to stand on business. So you're ready to do anything for the team kind of thing. It's the mentality, and that's Dominiks Dumas in a nutshell, how he's been for us, playing forward, killing penalties, playing defense, scoring goals now. So, again, you just you start putting these habits into your practice daily, night in, night out, you're going to have success. And Dumas had a great attitude. He's opened up. He's been the willingness to put these details into his game. And then, like I said, you hang around the net, good things are going to happen eventually, and pucks are starting to go in for him. And whether guys are just tapping it in, but he's creating opportunities for himself. And it's great to see, like, getting that secondary third scoring on our team. That makes us even more of a deadly hockey team when you start getting scoring from guys that might play down the lineup a little bit. Like, you start looking at the big guys scoring, and now you're getting the guys that are our third line guys or just guys that are I don't know, not even potatoes, but the guys that
start your engines, Crustacean Nation. NASCAR night is coming tomorrow night in Akins Ford Arena. Special racing-themed jerseys, prizes all night long, and appearances from some of your favorite drivers, including Noah Gragson, Daniel Suarez, and Kyle Busch. It's fast, it's loud, it's NASCAR night in the tank. Still time to get your tickets at rocklobstershockey.com. Our Rock Lobsters are the only team working hard this season off the ice. The Claws Up crew, the official booster club, is supporting our players with post-game meals, furnished apartments, and even bus blankets for those long winter rides. Want to learn more? Get involved yourself? Scan the QR code on your screen or visit arlbc.org today. Rock Lobsters start the second period on the shorthand, but they take a 3-1 lead into the middle frame. An early goal from Brandon Walker, his first as a pro. Dominiks Dumas added on to what has been a great end of 2025 into a start of 2026 for the boy from Boise. And then Joe Mack, who has been blazing hot lately. Shinkarik straight at sales, easy enough for the man from Milton. Rock Lobsters trying to keep Pee Dee out. IceCats already with a power play goal through Patrick's Marcinkevics. Here's Dominiks, a great pass right out in front of the welcome mat. Wilson tries to one-time it past McPhail, and it's not going to go. Shinkarik like a coil ready to spring. I think Neely was trying to get it on the forehand here. The handle took it away for the Pennsylvania native. 10 seconds left on Kola Tarsi's infraction. Went to the box for hooking. And here comes Kola. He joins the mix, 3 defensemen here on the ice. Shinkarik trying to help it there to Milan. Lord off the side netting, pops out for Kola. Super Milan has been playmaking a lot lately, but it feels like it's been a while since we've seen him strap the cape on and become Super Milan. The Milan family in the building tonight. Turnaround pass gets it out of the defensive zone for Athens. Great poke check from Glukaryov. Backhand helper to Dumas! He just keeps standing on business. If you're wondering why the IceCats are a little bit doom and gloom, look no further than Dom Dumas. It's his second 2-goal game over the past 3 contests. It's a little break after a great poke check from Daniil Glukaryov. Makes it a 2-on-1, finds Dumas in the slot. All that's left is the finish, and it's an exclamation mark for the boy from Boise. Things going from bad to worse, not only for the Pee Dee IceCats, but for Matt Sales, who all 4 goals feel like there are shots that Sales would want back. Athens strikes early in the second straight period, scoring a goal before the first 2 minutes of a framer up. Johansson gets the stick snapped, and he's trying to defend the move here. Somehow the Rock Lobsters keep it out. I believe that's Glukaryov's 3rd assist of the night. Danny Dangles has been dynamic, but so is this man, Mack. Save with a toe from Sales, perhaps his best save on the night, off the stick of Maye. Maye tracking back with Walker. Patrick's Marcinkevics trying to treat 2 defensemen like saloon doors. It's a great shot from Dominiks, a whisker wide of the top corner. Icing against Athens. Clock stops with 17:09 to go, but the Rock Lobsters lead 4-1.
This safety reminder is brought to you by E3 Land Management. Your proud sponsor of Pucks and Play, and stay out of the way. When the puck is moving, so is the action, and trust us, it moves fast. That's why
And indeed, Glukaryov with assists on the last 3 goals in this game. IceCats got the crucial contact on the faceoff, but it's Virgili who came away with it. Johnson wins the foot race, but a good defensive play from Dominic Della Savita. One of 3 IceCats making his debut tonight, Della Savita. Along with Alexander Legkoff and Matthew Gilbert. Shinkarik makes a step up there to the half wall. Van Durken around for Neely. So good at getting into the tight areas and making a play, but his pass forces Athens to play make out of their own zone, which they just might. Lowell's effort doesn't find Neely. Lowell sprawls out, trying to make a defensive intervention after giving the puck up, and now he'll be the furthest Rock Lobster forward. Slapped away by Dominiks Marcinkevics, who then enters the zone. Backhanded away by Van Durken. Walker gets under that one, puts it into the safety netting right under us here in the press box. Carter McPhail trying to fix the netting. McPhail becoming a member of the arena staff quickly. McPhail just such a funny character. And he took a page out of Michael Jordan's book when he put out the press release that he is indeed back as a Rock Lobster from his ECHL loan to the Greenville Swamp Rabbits. A classic move from Cart, no doubt. Powell. Gullo catches Powell out. Powell, 10th forward tonight, but being played as a defenseman. Golden opportunity for Carl at the edge of the right circle. McPhail able to make those kinds of close distance saves look easy. Reset, retry on the faceoff. Carter Shinkarik to Dominic Dumas, who is on hat trick watch now. Could Athens potentially record hat tricks in back-to-back games? Beneficial fall for Glukarioff and then to Milan. Looking for Dumas. What a glove save by Sales, depriving Dumas of a hat trick. A golden opportunity for the Idahoan, and perhaps one he'd want back. Sales has had some trouble in this game, no doubt. But that has been the best save of the night for the man who's playing in his home state. Carter Shinkarik puts his laces through that one and sends it into the 10th row. And that'll send us to the commercial timeout. Rock Lobsters expand on their lead with Dumas' second of the night. Stay tuned with us here on the Athens Rock Lobster Network.
Since we opened in 1968, we've taken pride in our professional staff. Unparalleled customer service is our legacy. Experience the best, skilled hands and friendly faces. At Stanfield Air Systems, satisfaction is not just a guarantee, it's our tradition. Schedule online at stanfieldair.com.
Honey, the sink is overflowing!
Okay, I'll call a plumber.
Need a plumber? Need a pro? When you need a plumber, call a pro. Plumber Pro.
Take a look there at the Serve Pro hometown hero for the night. Right now, Dom Dumas is the hometown hero of Athens, Georgia. He's got 2 goals in this one and was so close to tickling the twine for the hat trick. But Matt Sales flashes the leather. His best save of the night, but Rock Lobster still up by 3. A lot of new pieces being added to this IceCat team by head coach Gary Graham. Doesn't really seem like they've gelled together quite yet. Puck pups out for Shinkarik. Malik Johnson to Virgili. Those two combined a lot last season with Case and Gallant on their line most of the time. As of right now, the Red Deer Rocket on the injured reserve. Hope to see him back soon. Mack feeds Shinkarik to his left. Shinkarik gets it back to himself on the left skate. Malik Johnson wipes out, heading towards the net. Work to do it on the defensive side. Patrick's Marcinkevics wide. Wilson back to Razilov. Razilov, a 36-year-old veteran. Longtime veteran of the game, but his first year in the United States. Carter to Carter pass. McPhail to Shinkarik. Western Canada, Eastern Canada. Shinkarik was looking for Maye. Only goal for the IceCats on the night came on the power play. And it feels like if they are going to add another, it's going to have to come on the forecheck here, and it almost does. Dominiks' effort knuckles over the bar. And the reason why I feel like it might have to come on the forecheck is because the IceCats haven't easily traveled out of all three zones. Dominiks Marcinkevics draws the trip. Jesse Lowell will sit for two for taking down the Latvian. So Rock Lobsters back on the Leslie Jones Law penalty kill. They're currently 1 for 2 on the night on the penalty kill. Can they keep out Pee Dee again? Neely sends one down with conviction. In much of the same way that he has hit the back of the net with his shot. Very similar form. Neely still looking for a goal in this one, but has goals in 6 straight games. Kolatarsi keeping a watchful eye on Nathan Carl. Trying to be the catalyst to have the IceCats set up shop here. McGill Diaz, Carl. Right back to the former Motor City Rocker captain. Zajac on the goal line. McGill Diaz to Carl. Maybe not the favorite shot on the left circle with the left hand, but causes chaos in the crease. IceCats still can't finish it off as McPhail stands tall. Once again, Pee Dee a little pensive out of their own zone, and then an unforced error on McGill Diaz against Mack. Dominiks to Patrick's. Marcinkevics to Marcinkevics. Patrick's rings one off the glass, over to Dominiks. Tries a neat move between his legs, Patrick's. 25 seconds to go on the penalty kill for the Rock Lobsters. Virgili getting his stick down to the ice. Comes off the stick of Maye. Patrick's tries to bat it out of midair. Comes free for Lord. Shot through traffic. Dominiks can't find one past McPhail. Just a few seconds to go there, and somewhat of a high-risk shot from Dominiks Marcinkevics, as there was only a few seconds to go before Lowell was coming out of the box, and all the time you see those out-of-the-box breaks. Joust for possession. Garcia wisely there, just taking the body on Matt Gilbert. Shinkarik takes it away. Lowell out of the box. Rock Lobsters back at even strength. Glukarioff gets taken to the boards by Popoff, but Van Durken there to sweep it and recycle. Backhanded to Garcia, hard off the end boards as it ricochets to the far side. Garcia just eases it over to Glukaryov. But here comes Patricks. I think that took a slight deflection, and luckily for McPhail, it was over the bar. Shinkarik over center ice where he fought Dominiks in the first period. Lowell takes a hit in from behind. Slow to get back up to his feet, but he's on his skates. McPhail asks for the icing, and it'll be granted to him. Carter McPhail, if he holds on, it'll be his 10th win of the season and put both Rock Lobster goaltenders on double digits for the year. His last game came December 27th against the IceCats, a 3-1 win. Still plenty of game to go in this one. We're approaching the halfway mark of the contest. Dumas, so close to having his hat trick, if not for a great glove save from Matt Sales. Here's Dumas again. To the point for Kolatarsi, who fizzes one to Dumas. Great pass from Milan to find Johnson. This time it's Johansson. He wants to get in on the goal fest. Johansson looking for his first as a pro. Body sprawled out as it looks like there's landmines over there, and it's about to explode. Dom Dumas looks like he's wiping blood from his nose as he clearly took something up high, and the officials able to put out this fire before it starts blazing any harder. We go to the commercial timeout. Rock Lobsters still lead 4-1. Will Dumas bring the hats out onto the ice?
When you're the leader, disaster cleanup and restoration, how do you make like it never even happened happen? Fire it up, Randy! By being prepared for anything! Whatever comes your way, there's a pro for that.
Serve Pro, like it never even happened.
Every business owner who's built a business wonders about their company's legacy. What's the path forward after they decide to take a step back? At the heart of every succession plan is a vision that safeguards hard-earned success. This isn't just paperwork. It's your roadmap, guiding a business during a change in ownership and detailing how ownership transitions and key financial decisions unfold. This instills a profound sense of pride, belonging, innovation, and commitment, ensuring a stable future for the company and a rewarding exit for you. Let's forge that path together.
A little less than halfway to go in this game. Rock Lobsters cruising thus far with a 4-1 lead. Saw Dominic Dumas get crunched into the boards that drew a scrum right next to the glass, and right outside your screen, a couple of Pee Dee leaders in Lord and McGill Diaz talking to the officials along with Carter Shinkarik. Right now, Carter Shinkarik, the more animated of the three. McPhail has come back to the bench as it seems like we're not just ready to continue yet. Another great crowd here at Akins Ford Arena. Looking to scream and shout. McPhail back to the crease. Looks like we're going to skate 5 aside. And back underway with 9:40 to go. Carter Shinkarik with a little backhand move to dump it into the zone. Bedard takes a crunching blow at the glass, but gets the pass off. He won't mind if he can log an assist here, but McPhail gets a touch onto it that'll deprive him of that, even if it ends into the back of the net, and it almost does. Wilson, a smart deflection using his experience, but McPhail will kiss the post as the metal work helps him make the save. Van Durken trying to stick handle through traffic. Loose puck to Maye. Great passing all around. What's the lowdown from Lowell? Takes a brilliant feed from Neely, and he's feeling good. The passage of play, it all happens so fast. Maye spins, no looker. Neely, one-time pass into the slot for Lowell, who shoots it low and finds a 5-hole. Sales beat on the 5-hole once again in this game. And definitely the goaltender situation was going to be one that had question marks for the IceCats going forward. For much of the season, it felt like Ricardo Gonzalez was the number one going forward for the IceCats. He started in the team's last 3 games, but then was traded to the Danbury Hat-Tricks along with Eli Rivers. Gullo deflected out by Walker, then takes a hit from Johnson. Neely and Maye on the apples for the goal that makes it 5-1 from Jesse Lowell. Lowell having his 11-game point streak snapped Saturday against Baton Rouge. Will he start another one here? Patrick's Marcinkevics, brilliant move from the Latvian. Through the legs to the crease for Carl. Already 5-1 with a little less than 28 minutes to play in regulation. Icing against Pee Dee will stop the clock. 7:47 to go. Athens leading in shots on goal as well, 24-19. And Dominic Dumas might have been the one to coin the term standing on business, but Jesse Lowell, he follows that ethos as well in the way he plays the game and what he does for the team. Boys finding themselves in great positions. It's not really been the power on the shots thus far. It's been more where the shots have been coming from, and Sales has been having some trouble in this game. Dom Dumas, glad to see he's no worse for wear. It looked like he was checking for blood when he took that hit into the boards 3 or 4 minutes ago in this contest. Zajac, McPhail. God, what a confident goaltender. He's been oozing it on the season. Rookie netminder looking like he has years of professional experience. Dumas helps it ahead for Milan into the slot. Maye took a step up. A 3-on-1 here. Shinkarik the furthest back. Wilson bar down. IceCats, they have claws of their own, and they're able to scratch one back through Wilson. Bar down shot on McPhail. It's a beauty, but still a 3-goal deficit on the board. Wilson, his 11th of the year. When the IceCats won in the win column against the Rock Lobsters this year, that was Boxing Day in Florence, South Carolina. Wilson was the best player on the ice. First even strength goal for the IceCats, and Rock Lobsters commit numbers going forward. Shinkarik was the furthest back, but with a 3-on-1, there was only so much that the two Carters could do. Easy glove save this time around for McPhail. Looks like Claudius is making some friends. He's right below us, actually. Neely has been a great playmaker in this game, but will he continue his goal streak and extend it to 7 games? Lowell made it 5-1, but it's now 5-2 after Wilson cut the deficit to 3. Neely slaps it down to the ice. Might work out for Pee Dee. Razilov, near side hash marks pass, looking for Frolov in the slot. Got under the Russian stick. McPhail leaves it for Johansson. Taken back in by Zajac. Johansson tracking the Belarusian down. Falls to Patrick's Marcinkevics. Mai up the boards, intercepted by Zajac. Patrick's stapled to the glass by Jack Johansson. Takes an awkward bounce off Johansson, and McPhail has to deflect it back over to the New Hampshire native. Here's JoJo again, up the boards to Banderkin. Virgili, little around the world stick handle move. Back to the Moscow Mule. Walker loads one up. Deflects off of Zajac and over the bar. Brandon Walker gets back, and then a little stare down into the face of Patrick's Marcinkevics. We go back to another media timeout here at Akins Ford Arena. IceCats have one back through a bar down shot from Houston Wilson, but the Crustaceans still in control. Farmburger is defined by its mission, its farms, its team, and its family. In 2008, our co-founders gathered around a single idea: redefine the burger by bringing together a community of ranchers, farmers, chefs, restaurateurs, and eaters. Our promise is to strive every day and with every burger to uphold these core values to each and every one of you. We do that by holding ourselves to a higher standard. Grass-fed and grass-finished, that means our cattle are never fed grain. Our belief feeds our mission, and our mission is to feed you.
Meet our professional team, where the best customer service is our promise. With over 5 decades of expertise, trust Stanfield to keep you comfortable. Schedule online at stanfieldair.com.
Rock Lobsters lead 5-2. And if you didn't know already, these are two teams who have seen a lot of each other, will continue to see a lot of each other. A rematch in Game 2 of the series tomorrow night, same place, same time at 7:05 p.m. The Rock Lobsters will then welcome the Columbus River Dragons Sunday afternoon. 4:05 puck drop on that one. And then the Rock Lobsters will travel to Pee Dee to take on the IceCats. Shinkarik trying to tie up the speedy Ledkoff there. Ledkoff down to a knee, get the pass off for the scorer of the most recent goal, Houston Wilson. Gets lost into the netting, and take a closer look. Ledkoff has already scored a goal in the Florence Center despite not having played a game for the IceCats until tonight. Scored against the IceCats as a member of the Danbury Hat Tricks last weekend. Joe Mack grabs it down out of midair. Houston Wilson poked it away from Mack, but couldn't take it any further than that. Johnson pokes it through Wilson. Carter Shinkarik off the shin of Wilson. Wilson hoping that there's any blood in the water in this game. Works hard on this shift. It's a good idea from Virgili, and Shinkarik makes a wise play. Virgili trying to pirouette from the trapezoid and center it. Johnson back to the blue for Brandon Walker. Little toe drag shot. Bounces wide. Shinkarik helps it over to the slot. No one there to respond. Great pass from Virgili to find Mack, who rips a shot. Sales heads it with a noggin into the corner. Bukaryoff loses an edge. His pass cut out by Pee Dee. Three minutes to go in this second period. Rock Lobsters lead 5-2. 2 goals in the second for the Rock Lobsters from Dumas and Lowell. Players who have a very similar reputation with their teams in being team first guys. Milan, look at him race. Garrett Milan still showing the speed at 34 years old. Johansson guides it around the net of McPhail, but got the stick lifted. Shot from Froloff, easy enough for McPhail. Pass out in front, Dominiks Marcinkevics. Rock Lobsters helping out their goaltender. It's a brilliant pass to the back door. Froloff didn't get enough on it. Little 1-2, how do you do? Dumas and Milan. Milan hoping that Dumas was going to stay there on the left flank, but instead cut out toward the net. Dumas right now cutting everything towards the net. He's looking for that hat trick goal. Shot through traffic once again. The IceCats are starting to plug up the slot and try to make things more dangerous for McPhail. Meanwhile, Gleb Bandurkin, the definition of dangerous whenever he enters the zone. Looks like there might be a little more danger. Garcia and Patrick's Marcinkevics getting nose to nose. We've already seen one Latvian twin drop the gloves tonight. Garcia and Patrick still barking at one another. Shots have been there for Pee Dee. 23 efforts at McPhail in the contest thus far. It's been a tough day at the office for Matt Sales, but if he can get his head back in this one and Pee Dee do what Pee Dee are capable of doing, could make for an interesting third period. Garcia around the boards. Great play from Lowell despite being left. Chest on the sheet. Rock Lobsters are going to go up a man here. Garcia, after being a part of that little nose-to-nose affair with Patrick's Marcinkevics, almost got the last laugh by bearing a goal. Rock Lobsters will end the second period on the man advantage. Jordan Popoff will sit again known to get himself in a little bit of penalty trouble, but he's a fan favorite over in Pee Dee. Less than a minute to go. Well, the Rock Lobsters restore a 4-goal lead, but they had it 5-1. Their heaviest margin of a lead on the night. It's the stick of many players, but Maye is running the point. He's going to have to run back. You could see the trust that Athens has in their goaltender, Carter McPhail, to make plays like that, pass it back to the crease. It's not something you see a lot, especially at this level. Joe Mack spins out at the far boards. Zajac trying to shave the final 25 seconds of clock here in the second period. Johnson to the left for Milan. Virgili didn't make the read until late. Little 2-on-1. McPhail gets over just in time. Squeezes the quads. And things are starting to boil over. That was a brilliant save from McPhail. Milan has the bucket shed off. Multiple players from both teams going at it. And once again, really the usual suspects at the center of it all, Dominiks and Patricks. And from a PD perspective, they might say Milan as well. Mack and Bedard still throwing gloved hands at one another. Marcinkevics into the box. You'd have to imagine that at least one Athens player is going to join him. Mack and Milan also into the box. Everything starts to explode. Marcinkevics just barrels himself into a bevy of players right after McPhail makes a brilliant save. A collection of bodies behind McPhail. With 8 seconds to go in the second period, these two teams just don't know how to behave. Popov still in the box for 1:11. Now joined by Marcinkevics. Joe Mack is skating back to the bench, so he's been freed early. Milan back to the bench too. Looks like Johnson will sit instead. But there were two Rock Lobsters in the sin bin, and now there's just one. Still got to see how they're going to adjudicate this one. Right now, you would think that the two penalties would offset for Johnson and Marcinkevics, and that will stay a man up. Fans enjoying themselves tonight. Crustacean Nation coming out in droves once again, and what is the busiest weekend thus far for the Rock Lobsters. And you can be involved too. Tomorrow night, you can start your engines because it's NASCAR night in the tank. First ever NASCAR night as we celebrate our new sponsor, special racing-themed jerseys, prizes all night long, and appearances from some of your favorite drivers, including Noah Gregson, Daniel Suarez, and Kyle Busch. It's fast, it's loud, it's NASCAR night in the tank. Get your tickets at rocklobstershockey.com. Rock Lobsters are the only team working hard this season off the ice. The Claws Up crew, the official booster club of the Rock Lobsters, is supporting the players with post-game meals, furnished apartments, and even bus blankets for those long winter rides. Want to learn more or get involved yourself? Scan the QR code on your screen or visit arlbc.org today. Does indeed look, it's 4-on-3. Or actually, it's 5-on-3. Answers about the penalties will come imminently. Crucial Pee Dee faceoff win as they send it all the way down and will end the period. But coming back into the third, more than a minute of 5-on-3. Right now, the score is 5-on-2. 2 goals in the second for the Rock Lobsters. Glukaryov, Danny Dangles, and then Danny finds Dumas, who scores his second of the game, his second multi-goal game over the past 3 contests for the Athens number 92. And then a little tic-tac-toe, Maye, Neely to Lowell, who shoots low and finds the 5-hole. Carter McPhail, a great save as he goes cross-crease, and that brought a scrum right behind the Rock Lobster net. The IceCats also got a goal back as Houston Wilson went bar down to make it a 5-2 game. As always, it's penalties galore between the Pee Dee IceCats and the Athens Rock Lobsters. But the Crustaceans cruise in the tank. They lead 5-2. It was a great opportunity for me this week to interview one of the Rock Lobster OGs, Joe Colatarsi, someone who played in the first ever Rock Lobster game and got the start tonight in front of the Crustacean Nation faithful. He is our most recent guest on Lobster Tales. We got to talk about his Florida roots, how he got in the game, and maybe what he feels whenever he shaves his head before getting out on the sheet here at Akins Ford.
Hey there, Crustacean Nation. Welcome back to Lobster Tales on the Athens Rock Lobster Network. It's the go-to way for you fans to learn more about your favorite players. As always, I'm your host, Martin Rad, and my guest today is one of the OG Rock Lobsters, a veteran presence who's been with us since day one, bringing experience, grit, and stability to the Athens Blue Line. Welcome to the show, Joe Colatarsi. Cola, thanks for joining me today, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Excited to be here.
Well, Joe, I want to get right back into your roots because I think it's interesting to see someone fall in love with the game of hockey from the Sunshine State. I listened back to an interview that you and me did way back in preseason, back in 2024, and you said that you tried out ice skating, enjoyed it, and then wanted to find a sport that wasn't going to get rained out all the time in Florida. What age did all of that happen, and what can you remember about that first time stepping out on the ice?
I think it was roughly around 6 years old when I first got to try public skating, ice skating. And then probably right after that, I started doing learn to play and then joined a rec league. So probably started playing hockey roughly around 7, but on ice skates for the first time around 6.
Is there anything that you could put a finger on that differentiates a hockey player from Florida as opposed to someone from, say, like Canada or the Northeast? Is there anything about home that you feel like affected the way you saw the game?
No, I wouldn't say that, but never really grew up with like skating on ponds like a lot of the Canadian guys probably would have. But hockey, when I first started playing in Florida, wasn't quite huge yet. But over the last 10 years, it's really become a hotbed for hockey. there's a lot of people moving from the Northeast down to Florida, and rinks are popping up. And as we've seen in the NHL, Tampa Bay Lightning won back-to-back cups. Florida Panthers just won back-to-back cups. And like my hometown of Fort Myers, they have an ECHL team, and they won 3 in a row. So it's really picked up. And I think a lot of the pros that when they retire and move down to Florida, they have their kids that they want to put in hockey. So the talent has really gotten a lot better over the last 10, 15 years.
I know you just mentioned the Lightning and the Panthers. I know you're a Tampa Bay Lightning guy and that you chose the number 4 because of Vinny Lavallieré. Was that Stanley Cup win? I mean, you talked about starting to play the game at 7 or 8 years old. The Lightning win the cup when you were like 9 years old. Did that come at a formative time to continue to help you fall in love with the game?
Yeah, I would like to think so. That year when they won, I think we probably went to 3 or 4 games. It's about a 2-hour drive. So just getting to watch them play live and see the atmosphere. Never really knew too much about hockey until one day started skating, and then next thing you know, you can't take your eyes off it. You're watching the games, and it's just it was awesome experience.
Something else that you pointed out in that old interview, it's a year and a half old now, but was the entirety of the sacrifice that your parents made to help you play this sport. Time, money, and miles, especially when you're playing hockey in the state of Florida. Do you ever stop and think about the fact that you've kind of really paid back their trust with a kind of career that you've carved out for yourself?
Yeah, like my grandparents did a lot to help my dad put me and my brother through hockey, whether it was taking us to practice after school, taking us on the road trips. You know, they paid for a lot of it, and it's not a cheap sport. It's a very expensive sport to get into, paying for ice time and practices and lessons, paying for the teams, but it was they did everything they could to make sure I had the best opportunity to get to where I am today.
You had mentioned that your dad was your biggest influence. And of course, I think a lot of young men feel that way about their fathers if they're lucky enough to have their fathers in their life. I know I do. What are the qualities about your dad that you look up to the most?
He never played hockey, but he played other sports. And whether I had a good game or a bad game, he never yelled. He always, made sure I was having fun. And if we weren't having fun, then we weren't going to do it. And just all the work that he put in to be able to allow me to play hockey was big for me, just because there's not too many rinks in Florida. So sometimes you're traveling, 2 hours away on a Saturday or a Sunday. It's a very time consuming, and he always made sure that me and my brother had the opportunity to play. And I'm grateful for that.
Something I was curious about was that you, your dad, your grandfather, and your great-grandfather are all Joseph. You're not a junior, though. You all have different middle names.
Yeah.
How did the family differentiate Joe's from Joey's to Joseph's growing up?
Typically, I've always been Joey with the family. My dad goes by Joe, and my grandpa we called Papa. But I'm sure my dad called my grandpa Joe, and I remember my grandma referring to my father as Joey as well. So if I'm lucky enough to have a boy one day, plan on naming him Joseph as well.
Nice to continue on the family tradition there. Well, you went to high school, obviously, in Florida as well. Then you took a unique route before heading to college, and you played junior hockey with the Summerside Western Capitals. You really thrived there and racked up a lot of points and some accolades as well. It looks like a beautiful maritime town, but you're there during hockey season. What was the culture shock like, first on the day-to-day side of things, and then on the hockey side of things?
It was definitely a life-changing moment moving out to PEI. Never lived a winter through the snow before, so that was a first for me, and first time shoveling snow as well, shoveling it at my billet house. So those were very unique for me, and then even switching to the visor. That was my first time wearing a visor, so that was unique as well, not having the full cage and face mask on.
I want to check on this because Elite Prospects has been known to lie to me before. But is it true that you first met Malik Johnson when you were both 18 and playing together in that first season in Summerside?
Yes, we my first year in Summerside, we played together I think the next year we either traded him or he went up to the queue and then got traded. I can't remember the details, but I remember I watched Malik's first QMJHL game for the Charlottetown Islanders. We all went and watched him play, so that was pretty cool too. But then we traded him, and I think our 20 year against each other, we met in the playoffs, and I think we ended up beating them in Game 7 in the first round. So we ended up advancing.
Obviously, you would play against him a little bit in the SB, but what was that like to now be on a team together? You're in that preseason camp in 2024, and you think about all those years shared in PEI, nearly a decade before or whatever it was, to now be playing on the same team.
I remember coming in for the first year here, like over the summer, you just kind of see who's all signing here, who's going to be coming. You see Garrett Milan, you see Malik Johnson, Carter Shinkarik. Obviously knew Malik, but the other guys that didn't really know yet, but you obviously know their name from playing against them. And Marty did a great job recruiting, getting the first-year guys here and having a great first year. It was very awesome when you see the Garrett Milan sign to the team. It's awesome to see that because the team's going to be good.
We'll talk a little bit more about that later. You went on to Adrian College in Michigan. It's one of the very best D3 hockey programs in the nation. How much did going to a program of that caliber kind of shape your standard for your pro career?
It definitely helped a lot. Just the older guys that were there, we would get a lot of D1 transfers in and a lot of guys that maybe were just on the cusp of going D1. So it was the organization was ran very well, high standards, and you win a lot of games. So it's kind of, when you move to pro, you just kind of take that with you and try to replicate it. Because when we won a lot of games in college, never got to win the national championship, but just a winning mentality helps carry over to the pro. And we had a lot of guys in the grades above me that would go pro after, whether it was for a year or whatever. But knowing that those guys coming from Adrian could go play pro, I knew in the back of my head I could do it too if I wanted to, and I pursued it.
It's giving me a little thumbs up there. I don't know why. I don't know what's going on there, but I talked with Jack Johansson in our last episode, and like you, his first steps into the pros was with the Macon Mayhem in the SB. Something I discussed with him was that it kind of feels like everybody's first steps in the pros are a little unique. Was going pro something that you knew you wanted to do when your college career wrapped up, or was it more of a case that teams were reaching out to you and you said, all right, let's give this a shot?
My last year of college was the COVID year when everything shut down. So I didn't have the opportunity to hop onto a team when our season ended. So it was kind of a unique first year to pro. And then when I got to sign with Macon, I ended up going to Tulsa's camp in the East Coast, got cut, went to Macon, and it was a tough year because there was only 5 SV teams that year, and there was probably 16 ECHL teams. So not a lot of teams, ton of players, not a lot of guys going to Europe because of COVID. So it was probably the hardest year of hockey of my life. I think I got cut 3 or 4 times throughout the year, and I think it shaped me for the better in the long run. That first year was so tough that everything else kind of got easier as I went.
You had only 12 games in the SB with both the Mayhem and the Knoxville Ice Bears. And then in your second season, you find yourself on the coast with the Utah Grizzlies. How did that opportunity kind of shape itself for you?
My coach in Macon, Kevin Kerr, he was an awesome coach for me. Very hard on the players. And he got an opportunity for me to go to Utah to camp. And I didn't know if I was going to make the team, but it ended up working out. It took me a while to get in the lineup. And when I finally got in the lineup, I kind of stuck and had a role. I actually played more forward than defense, but just kind of found my role and I stuck to it. And it was probably the best year that I had. Just kind of find my footing, and I wouldn't trade how things worked out that year in Macon. It was a tough year, but I think it shaped me for the upcoming years.
How was that posed to you to play as many games as you did at forward? I mean, you played 50 games, something like that, in the coast as a forward. Is that something that you have to consider? Obviously, you're getting to play it as, as high as a level as some guys make it, but also you have to think to yourself like, man, I'm trying to make this career for myself as a defenseman. Was that a hard decision for you to make at all?
I was kind of, you get called in the office, and like our D core that year was very stacked. I think 2 of the guys have gotten their NHL shots from that team, and I knew I wasn't really going to get a lot of time on defense unless guys got hurt or guys went up. So I think I probably played about 90% of the games at forward, and just tried to contribute anything I could to stick on the team and stick in the lineup, and it worked out.
What is the first thing that you noticed about the level of compete going from college to 12 games in the SB and to playing in affiliated hockey in the ECHL?
It was definitely, I remember going to training camp in Utah, and when they sent down about 6 or 7 guys from the American League, it was like, wow, these guys are legit. I need to stay focused and stay on track, because you never know when you're going to get called in the office and get sent home. You never know. And I think the group of guys we had there, the older guys, really helped take me under their wing and kind of show me the ropes. And, one of the things you can do as a younger guy is, be one of the first guys on the ice, one of the last guys off the ice, be a good teammate, just do the little things that people see. And that was a big part of me sticking there was, the group of guys liked me, and I wasn't scoring goals and stuff, but, finishing hits, getting the puck out, shipping it in, pretty much getting off. That was my role, pretty much.
You would go back to the SB, you would become a fan favorite with the Birmingham Bulls before becoming a part of the start of our franchise. What do you remember about the first time you learned about the Athens Rock Lobsters?
I remember hearing about the arena being built and seeing pictures of the arena. And as soon as I saw the arena, I knew I wanted to come here. It was pretty much what sold it to me. And obviously, Athens being a big college town, that was also a big plus. And when you look at like Marty as the coach and you look at his elite prospects, a lot of wins for him as a coach and played in the NHL. It was kind of a no-brainer to come.
You and me first talked in that preseason camp back in 2024, and so much has changed since then. Even from the time span of that preseason to the first home game, there was so much unknown that came into the light when we first stepped out onto the ice at Akins Ford Arena. How do you look back at this path, not only for yourself, but for the team, going back to all the road games and practicing an hour and a half away in coming to where we are now?
I think back to those the coming practices, hour and a half in the vans with all the guys. Wouldn't want to do it anymore if we don't have to, but looking back, I think it got the team very close together. You're spending an hour and a half each way with all the guys in the vans, stopping for lunch after. It was great experience to get the guys close together. And obviously all the road games to start the year, it was nice when we finally got to like mid-December when we could play at home in front of that great crowd.
You were a part, and you kind of mentioned this, you were a part of this crucial core that was brought in at the very beginning, Milan, Malik, Virgili, and then the first captain in our franchise, Carter Shukarik. Were you guys aware then of kind of what you were building? And was that something that as the leaders of the team you ever talked about? Like what kind of culture you guys were building?
I know Shank called me.
This broadcast is brought to you by Thornton Brothers, your one-stop source for janitorial, safety, and packaging solutions. From restroom soap and protective eyewear to butcher paper and more, Thornton Brothers, they've got you covered. A reminder that the Rock Lobsters aren't the only team working hard this season, because off the ice, the Claws Up crew, the official booster club, is supporting our players with post-game meals, furnished apartments, and even bus blankets for those long winter rides. You want to learn more? Get involved yourself? Scan the QR code on your screen or visit arlbc.org today. Rock Lobsters with a 5-2 lead here at Akins Ford Arena. They'll start the third period with some significant time with a 5-on-3. Let's take a look at some of the scores around the FPHL. Watertown Wolves currently tied in Danbury with a hat tricks. Binghamton Black Bears with a 2-0 lead in Winston-Salem in a replay of last year's Commissioner Cup Finals against the Thunderbirds. Tied game right now between the Blue Ridge Bobcats and the Columbus River Dragons at 3-3. Also tied is a battle between the two Louisiana clubs, the Baton Rouge Zydeco and the Monroe Moccasins. Biloxi Breakers, how about them coming out a little bit tonight in front of their home fans? They are up 5-2 against the Topeka Scarecrows. Rock Lobsters back out on the ice right now. They're a little bit in cruise control, but it feels like another goal would really put this game away if they can make it 6-2, and a great opportunity to do so right under our noses here in the press box as they'll attack Matt Sales' goal, 5-on-3. Ricardo McPhail making yet another return to Akins Ford Arena after yet another loan to the Greenville Swamp Rabbits. Right now, he's made 24 saves on 26 shots, looking for win number 10 on the year. If he's able to do so, both Rock Lobster netminders in McPhail and Lavallieré will have double-digit wins to their name. Underway here in the final 20 minutes. Colatarsi out to the left for Milan. IceCats might be the only team this year that have a 5-on-3 shorthanded goal, though. Shinkarik loads one up. I think that one hit Neely up high. Glukaryov fakes a slapper after getting the feedback from Milan. Shinkarik blazes one wide of the post. IceCats with 8 shorthanded goals. That leads the FPHL. East to west passes as Lowell tiptoes in. Neely tried to get the shot off as he went on to the forehand at the edge of the left circle. Shinkarik, third bite of the cherry, misses the frame again. IceCats get one back, and now it's 5-on-4. Lowell has a lot of ice around him. Glukaryov getting there ahead of Popoff. But these are the kind of chances that the IceCats like to take the other way. Trevor Lord with that effort, unable to trouble McPhail. There's one last rush on the man advantage for the Rock Lobsters. Lowell U-turns back towards his own zone, hoping that he might find a teammate there. Instead, he'll take it behind McPhail's net. A reset, a recycle, but only 7 seconds to go with a man up. Maye, will he try to do it himself? Sees that Dominiks is going through! Bring out the hats and leave them out on the ice. Dominiks, a couple of games removed from his first ever pro multi-goal game. He gets to the net front and buries the pass from Maye, and now he's got his first pro hat trick. Hat tricks in back-to-back games for the Rock Lobsters. Mack last Saturday and Dominiks tonight in the tank. Plaudits all around from his teammates. Whenever they see their brother in arms, they nod their head and say, standing on business. Dominiks, that's what he's all about. And he's done a little bit of it all for the Rock Lobsters this year. He's been the glue guy. All due respect, he may not be the first one on your bingo card to record the hat trick, but that's what standing on business is all about. All the hats have been collected, and Dumas will have a few more to add to his collection. First pro hat trick for Dom Dumas. What a night for the man far away from home. Born in Boise, but made tonight in Athens. Mack, great little entry. Virgili's pass, looking to center it, gets deflected by Jurgenite towards the penalty boxes. Mack between the skates of Popoff. Johnson unable to get it towards the slot. Blown whistle. Jack Johansson wondering why, so is Philip Virgili. A lot of puzzled looks from the Rock Lobsters. And I'm sorry, it's right under my nose here towards the glass. Joe Mack has been left out on the ice. Athens have had their share of injury issues over the past few weeks. And Joe Mack left out on the ice. Let's see if we could find out. What happened? It's not something that I saw, and I don't think it's something we saw on stream either. And it looks like, and I'm not trying to come to any conclusions, but it looked to me that Joe Mack may have taken a spear, whether accidental or incidental, from Jordan Popoff in a place where you'd rather not take some heavy contact. And hopefully Joe Mack is going to be able to continue in this one. He's been a real star of the show lately for the Rock Lobsters. Got a stoppage in play. It looked to me like a spear from Popoff into the nether regions of Joe Mack. Whether it was purposeful or not, couldn't really tell from the view that we got. Let's see if we could get another look here. Mack there gets stuck in the boards, and then Popoff, it doesn't look like he's looking at Mack, but reaches the stick out a little bit there. And then next thing you know, Mack is left out on the ice towards the hash marks. I think this is something that's getting reviewed. The question will be is, do the referees have a good enough look? And I think the real question is Popoff, it looks like his eyes are maybe away from the play. Tough to say if the intention is in there or not. Of course, we know the reputation of Popoff and the kind of shenanigans he's been capable of as a member of the IceCats this season. Referees still in the designated review area. Rock Lobsters now lead 6-2. As Dominic Dumas completed his hat trick. Dumas, his first pro hat trick, came off a great pass from Devin Maye. Maye with another multi-assist game. He's been electric since coming in as a bolster to the blue line for Garrett Rutledge. Now has a goal and 6 assists to his name. First coming to the team in that road series at Columbus. Officials no longer reviewing. More referees have been sent out to the Pee Dee bench than to the Rock Lobster one, and Gary Graham very animated on the IceCat bench. And Popoff is heading to the box. So Popoff will sit. The question will be for how long. And it's going to be 4 minutes. So Rock Lobsters back onto the power play. 4 minutes of time. And immediately Della Savita getting tangled up with Lowell. Glukarioff will collect it off the far wall. Centers it, cut out by Zajac and sent down by the Belarusian. McPhail with another play outside of his crease. Great move in by Shinkarik. Almost very similar to the coast-to-coast goal that he scored in the last game against the Baton Rouge Zydeco. Kyle Powell seeing that Dominic Della Savita got tangled up with Lowell, and now Powell getting some power play time. He might put the Powell in power. And confirmation that it was indeed a spearing double minor for Popoff, and that's why he sits for 4. Malik Johnson centers it out in front, falls to Maye, blocked by Wilson. Milan with a one-timer, deflects back to him and taken away by Dominiks. Another 2-on-1. This team has been known for some shorthanded goals, and they scored their 9th of the year. Wilson with his 2nd of the game. You know, whenever you play against this IceCat team that you're in danger of conceding a shorthanded goal. They use that speed through Dominiks and Wilson, the latter of which scores the 9th shorthanded goal for the IceCats this year, leading the FPHL. Still plenty of power play to go, but the IceCats reminding the Rock Lobsters perhaps where they're more dangerous than anyone else in the Fed. Maye. Easy like a Sunday morning on a Friday night. Pass over to Shinkarik, who got caught up by Lord. Captain Fantastic resets in his own zone. Neely, Van Durken on the near side. Some Rock Lobsters took an early step. Have to play make now out of the neutral zone. Van Durken enters in on the left side. Maye to Neely. Pass over to Shinkarik on the far side. And whipped back down by McGill Diaz. IceCats not giving up just yet. The shorthanded goal from Wilson, his 2nd of the game, has the IceCats within 3. Still a long way to go, but the light a little brighter at the end of the tunnel. Crunching hit from Dominic Della Savita on Van Durken. Shinkarik to Neely. hard off the skate of Della Savita, who then is able to clear it down. Rock Lobsters 0 for 5 on the power play tonight. Trying to send fans home with free churros from Paloma Park. If it was going to happen, it was going to happen there. Milan 2, Glukaryov, the Russian rifle, has done everything but score a goal in this game. He's stick-handled with style, and he's got 3 assists in this game. Two former roommates in Milan and Wilson, the latter of which having 2 goals in this game. Could we see a hat trick for either side tonight? Garrett Rutledge's birthday wish will be that there is not. As we go to a commercial timeout, still power play time to go, but the man advantage has just not been working for the Rock Lobsters tonight. Will they care? They're up 6-3. We'll see if it matters in the end.
Hi, welcome to Chandler Jewelers. What would you like to learn tonight?
Looking for a new watch, something a little more fast, more precise.
Yeah, that one looks like it's seen better days. And let's get you something that can keep up.
Oh snap, I got a game to get to. Whew, plenty of time to spare.
Want to move better, feel stronger, live healthier? Join Athens Health and Fitness. Personal training, results-driven programs, and a community that pushes you. Check them out at athenshealthandfitness.com today. Rock Lobsters with a 6-3 lead, but the last goal belongs to Houston Wilson and the IceCats as they scored their 9th shorthanded goal of the year. As for all the fans watching, don't scoreboard to watch around the FPHL or you'll jinx it. Maye trying to stop Dominiks, Marcinkevics. These two combined, Wilson and Marcinkevics, for a shorthanded goal just minutes ago. But now they have numbers committed forward. Dom Dumas, already 3 goals on the night. Kicks it over to Milan. Shinkarik right in the chest protector of Sales. Matt Sales, the only person born in Georgia on either roster, moved to New Hampshire and played high school hockey there. I want to thank all of you for tuning in once again. If you haven't already, make sure you like the stream, subscribe to play a part in our world-famous chat, and ring the bell to stay notified of all future Rock Lobster content. That means game broadcasts, coaches' corners, and Lobster Tales. Rock Lobsters trying to put a great last chapter on this Lobster Tale. Great body check there from the official on Maye. Dumas has been an electric factory in this game. Shinkarik tries to chop it down. McPhail active all night long. Danny Dangles, Danny Deeks finds Virgili. Shinkarik, one-time pass towards the corner, unable to find a teammate. It's almost a 3-on-1 there on the shorthand for the IceCats. Glukaryov to the back door, looking for Mack, who's now back out on the ice. He drew that 4-minute penalty off of a spear to the nether regions. courtesy of Jordan Popoff. Kolatarski, great poke check there on Patrick's. Finds Malik up ahead. Enters through on the left zone. Unselfishly finds Mack. Sometimes if you want a goal, you just got to have the cojones to come up and do it. Popoff won't deprive him of that. Joe Mack with his second of the game, and now late on, he's on hat trick watch. Virgili might get an assist as it potentially comes off of his skate, and it does. Joe Mack with the last laugh, he kicks the extra point. Athens leads 7-3. Things a little bit more comfortable, or so we thought. Powell and Popoff. This is a heavyweight bout. This is the first real return of the Big Bang and that leading left hand that asks questions. Popoff has dropped the gloves. It doesn't really look like he's interested in fighting. That's classic Popoff right there if I've ever seen it. If you want a little 10-second encapsulation of who Jordan Popoff is, there it is right there. It looked like a really clean start, that both of these boys were agreeing to go. Both of them dropped the gloves. I think both even dropped the helmet. Both of them still barking in the penalty box at one another. Sometimes you run out of words. And when it started out, I thought to myself, wow, I'm surprised that Popoff wants that smoke. But I think he looked down the barrel at the Big Bang and thought better of it. Hey, look, you could call Popoff many things, but I think in that situation, you can't call him a dumb guy. Well, play will resume. I assume they're both getting 5 minutes for fighting, despite... Is that a first in hockey? 5 minutes for fighting? Two guys who didn't throw a punch? Brandon Walker. First time we've seen Matthew Gilbert, it feels like, in some time for the IceCats. Trying to make an impact on this shift. It's going to have to be fielded by Jurgenite, rather Bedard, in neutral ice. Rock Lobsters with a dump in. Lowell with a forecheck. and finishes off the check against Bedard. Ten-goal contest. Van Durken. Neely reached out for it. Good defensive play there. Lifting the stick of Neely was Vadim Frolov. Neely. That's something that not many goaltenders have been able to do recently, but Sales is able to stop the longtime veteran, the former captain of the Atlanta Gladiators. Neely's still looking for that goal that will extend his goal streak to 7 games. Maye chops at it, falls ahead to Milan. Body check there from Patrick's Marcinkevics, frees things up for the IceCats. Milan lets it run. Jack Johansson sends it back where it came from. And it is indeed 5 minutes for fighting for Powell and Popoff. Not a single punch was thrown. Puck out in front. Dumas, hat trick hero, trying to turn playmaker there. McPhail off the boards. Dumas in all alone, has Glukaryov on the other side. Try to find him. Glukaryov has helped Dumas out in his pursuit for the hat trick. Doomer trying to return the favor to the Russian rifle. Great move to the back door as the Marcinkevics brothers almost combine. Well, they do so here. Dominiks can't find Patrick's with a pass. Dominiks. Dumas doesn't get enough on it on the clearance. Lord just wide of McPhail's frame. Shot blocked, I think, by Dumas. He's slow to get back up, and he'll wobble over to the bench. Joe Mack, furthest Rock Lobster back, and he'll tie up Patrick's Marcinkevics, and he'll go to the box for it. Still work for the Rock Lobsters to do on the Leslie Jones Law penalty kill when we come back after this.
Thank you for calling Boynton Brothers. How may we help you?
When the call comes in, our team moves fast. Because in our world, every second counts. Every delivery means protecting people, product, and places no shortcuts, no excuses. From warehouses before sunrise to late-night drop-offs when the rest of the city sleeps, we're the steady hands behind the scenes. On the arena floor, in the back hallways, and down to the locker room supplies, we help keep Athens ready, stocked, supplied, and moving. The fans feel it, the players count on it, the community depends on it. Thornton Brothers, proud sponsor of the Athens Rock Lobsters.
Make your home feel brand new. Dalton Carpet One has the flooring that you've been dreaming of. Visit DaltonCarpet1.com today and step on to style. Well, the Rock Lobsters have performed with style in this game. 10-goal contest, benefiting Athens 7-3. But it feels like right now, everyone's mind is on the fight or lack thereof between Popoff and Powell. IceCats will have a chance to get back within 3 once again. They are on the power play, meaning the Rock Lobsters are on the Leslie Jones Law penalty kill. McGill Diaz gets it back. Legkoff, one of the 3 new additions added to the roster for this game. McGill Diaz through traffic. McPhail has it spin out towards the slot. His team helps him out after that. After the scrum, pops out for Neely. Sends it all the way down towards Sales. Mack, 2 minutes for hooking. That's what has sent the Rock Lobsters back on the penalty kill. IceCats with the only power play goal on the night. And it's funny, we've talked with Garrett Rutledge on how if you win the special teams battles, you often win the game. That hasn't happened for Pee Dee tonight. Riding the line was Patrick's Marcinkevics. Gets it back from his brother Dominiks. Razzaloff running the point. Lord in the Yovi spot. Saved by McPhail. Razzaloff again. That one, I think, off of Wilson. Popped up into the air in front of McPhail. Lord doesn't get anything on that. Brandon Walker trying to hack it away. Falls to Dominiks behind McPhail. Razzaloff putting his all into that one. Gets caught up by Carter Shinkarik. Malik Johnson up ahead. Offside against the Rock Lobsters. Athens looking for a shorthanded goal of their own. Rock Lobsters now having given up more shorthanded goals than they've scored this year. Coming into this game with 6 and having allowed 6. They've allowed number 7 tonight. Still about 8 minutes to go in this one as Mack springs free. Still some offensive pressure from Pee Dee right after the power play ends. Milan. Someone who loves to score against this Pee Dee team. Sales stops him from the satisfaction. Few great nights for a few Rock Lobsters. Six different players with multi-point nights, highlighted by Dom Dumas's hat trick. Dumas can't take it away from Frolov. Dom Salavita. Milan onto the backhand, somehow misses the frame, and it's because he was impeded illegally as he went for the shot. Milan lifts the bar to the gate in frustration, then realizes he's going to be needed on the power play. We'll see who's coming out here. Rock Lobsters still looking for their first power play goal of the contest. Mack, Virgili, Malik Johnson, Devin Maye, and Carter Shinkarik. Could we have the first ever multi-hat trick night in Rock Lobster history? Because Mack has 2 goals in this one. Della Savita, 2 minutes for slashing. Shinkarik gloves it down after Gullo was biting at his heels. Maye to Mack. Spins it around. Sales trying to stop the trajectory a little bit. Virgili to Maye. Maye, one of the top playmakers in this game. Shinkarik able to get to the edge of the blue line in time. Maye sends one through a couple bodies, and Shinkarik will have to gather possession back in his own zone. Quick backhand from Mack. Back to Shinkarik. Maye, great pass to find Virgili. On the backhand, skips wide. Six minutes to go in regulation, about 40 seconds to go in this Rock Lobster power play. Is there another shorthanded goal in this one? No, says Virgili. Razilov trying to test McPhail. Bedard. Blockered away by McPhail. Block shot. This IceCat team is dangerous with a man down. Maybe when the IceCats get into a game, they should just go ahead and take penalties. They look more dangerous down a man. They look real dangerous there. Letkov, the victim of a poke check. De La Savita back out on the ice. Wilson looking for the hat trick as well. There is a slight chance for 3 different hat tricks in this game. Might have to ask Fed League Flash Gary Ryan if that's ever happened before. If and only if. Here's Letkov again, backhands it toward Wilson. Banks it. Back to Letkov. Wilson can't wrap it around. Neely had Dumas up ahead, but finds Lowell in some open ice. McGill Diaz grabs a hold of him, and the Zebras will grab a hold of the Pee Dee captain. Rock Lobsters already lead 7-3. They're going back to the power play again, but will Crustacean Nation get their free churros through the FanSaves app at Paloma Park? Find out after this.
As a hockey player, my health is everything to me. When I got injured,
I didn't just worry about missing games. I worried about my future in the sport I love. From the moment I met you and your team at Piedmont Athens Regional, you gave me confidence. Your expertise, your care, your support, it all reassured me from the very start. Because of you, I've been able to recover, rebuild, and get back to playing the sport I love. Can't thank you enough for what you've done for me and my future. Your help means the world to me, and I'll always be grateful for your part in keeping my dream alive. Thanks to Dr. Graff and Piedmont Athens Regional, I get to keep playing the game I love.
Late look at the Sea Bear kiss cam. We're rapidly approaching Valentine's Day season. Unfortunately for my fiance, we'll be away in Monroe. And I couldn't think of a less romantic place. Rock Lobsters with a 7-3 lead. Back on the power play. But the power play has not been a good omen for the Rock Lobsters in this game. Lukaryov, could he put a change to that? Taking a look at our stats program here. Rock Lobsters currently 0 for 6 on the power play. This is their 7th try. Van Durken trying to go through the saloon doors of 2 IceCats that collapsed in on him. Pop-off, big hit up high on Van Durken. Glove save on Lukaryov's one-time slapper. Jesse Lowell looked like a long stare there down at Popoff. Lowell going to take the draw here. When Gary Graham and the Pee Dee IceCats look back at this game film, they'll say we got one thing right, and it's how they played a man down all night long. Lowell, you think he's going one way, and he goes the other. With the puck in the offensive zone for Athens as we see the biscuit go out of play. Carter Shinkarik almost playing more in the neutral ice to be, as he usually is, the furthest man back, but back a little further than he usually is. Lord. Here's Mack. Already one hat trick in this game for the Rock Lobsters, courtesy of Dom Dumas. Will Mack get his on 2 goals? IceCats not letting up. Down 4 goals and have had plenty of penalty kill time. Mack rides the blue to Maye. Virgili got a hold of the puck, but then got caught decision making after that. Virgili, Milan. What a beautiful pass out of pressure with Bedard piggybacking on Super Milan. Rock Lobsters look likely to end the night 0 for 7 on the power play and still having scored 7 goals. Athens ices it. Face-off will get taken back 200 feet. Oh, we're going to have the fight after all, are we? Powell gets a hold of Popoff, or does he? Still hand fighting once again. Popoff practicing his backward skating as much as he can, throws a couple of rights, and then takes a spill. Popoff and Powell will get the early shower, but I still don't think it's what Powell wanted. Powell goes after Popoff, and Popoff does oblige him. Still waves him on and continues to backward skate. Goes for the takedown on Powell as he was already down. That man is a fan favorite for a reason. The Big Bang is back in the Classic City. Rock Lobsters in control in nearly every conceivable way. 2:12 to go in the third period. Feels likely that Powell is potentially going to have the longer penalty time here. He wanted a piece of Popoff. By any means necessary. Still 2:12 to go in regulation here. Rock Lobsters, that margin of time away from their 23rd win of the season, 18th in regulation. While we're here waiting, let's take a quick look around some of the scores in the FPHL. Danbury now with a 2-1 lead at home against the Watertown Wolves. Binghamton Black Bears, a slight edge, but an edge indeed in Winston-Salem in a replay of the Commissioner's Cup Finals from last year. Binghamton Black Bears 2, Twin City Thunderbirds 1. little bit of a barn burner in Columbus, 4-4 game against the Bobcats for the River Dragons. Biloxi Breakers up 6-3 against the Topeka Scarecrows. Good outing for the Breakers. It's been a little doom and gloom for them. Good to see them have a good game. And then a game that we will not talk about. Extra penalty will indeed go to the Rock Lobsters. Van Durken will serve the instigator for Powell. McPhail able to swallow that one up. Rock Lobsters back on the Leslie Jones Law penalty kill. We've seen a lot of tonight. Vast margin of what remains in this game will be played on the shorthand for the Rock Lobsters. Unless we have another penalty, which you might know this has happened before. Patrick's Marcinkevics, beautiful stick handle. We've seen it from him time and time again. Trying to set up Wilson for the hat trick. Will the night end with potentially 2 hat tricks? If there's a miracle, maybe even 3 in this game. Mack's on the ice right now. So is Wilson. Both of them on 2 goals. IceCats, though, on the power play. Wilson got just a touch, but nothing more. Final minute of play in the tank. Friday night start to this 3-game set for Athens on the weekend. Razilov to the left for Lord. McPhail glove save. Matt Garcia. Angered, turning red by something. It looks like he said that he took a whack from an IceCat player with the stick. Zajac gets Lowell on the draw. Will happen right in front of the Athens bench. It was already NASCAR night tomorrow night. I've already been told that it's close to a sellout tomorrow night in the tank. But if those weren't 2 good enough reasons for you to tune in tomorrow night, then the way this game has been played should give you enough impetus. Miguel Diaz. Miguel Diaz again. McPhail, so good. No matter how many bodies might be out in front of him, the man is made of pure Michigan and stands tall. Shh, Jesus. Shh. Y'all are going to jinx it. Y'all used to blame me when I used to talk about shutouts or overtime. The Snakes win in the pit. Just know it's not my fault. McPhail, another glove save through traffic. 33rd save of the night for Carter McPhail, making his second return to Athens after his second loan to the Greenville Swamp Rabbits. Offside against the IceCats will prolong the inevitable. Well, some eyes might have been on a important football game tonight, But those who came to Akins Ford Arena saw a football score. Rock Lobsters with a touchdown and an extra point. All Pee Dee can do is kick the field goal. One of the most prolific scoring nights we've seen from the Rock Lobsters in Akins Ford Arena this season. They stay undefeated in the tank. And now all that's left is to decide the 23 design 3 stars of the game. And there are some fantastic candidates for it, but really only one candidate for the first star. Matt Garcia grabs the 88 jersey as the Rock Lobsters salute Crustacean Nation in their win. Game had a little bit of everything. Brandon Walker's first goal as a professional. You saw what it meant. Carter Shinkarik and Dominiks Marcinkevics. Marcinkevics trying to pay the piper. Will it be enough? We might see tomorrow night. Dom Dumas with a hat trick on the night. 1, 2, you'll see 3 a little bit later. The man continues to stand on business, as does Jesse Lowell. His 11-game point streak ends. He might start another one tonight. But the man of the moment is the boy from Boise. Finishes off his hat trick with style. And Carter McPhail with another tremendous performance. His 10th win of the season puts both Rock Lobster goaltenders on double-digit wins. Larry Wise with the message over the head there of Matt Garcia. The 45th birthday of Garrett Rutledge could not have gone much better. Two Carters with an embrace there. Shinkarik and Virgili, the last off the ice. And an embrace between those two. We send it down to the ice for the 23 design 3 stars of the game.
The star of the game, number 77, with 3 assists,
Dom Dumas might have stood on business and scored the hat trick, but it was Daniil Glukaryov who was pulling the strings. 3 assists on the night for the Russian Rifle.
Our second star of the game, with 2 goals and an assist, number 74, Joe Mack.
Joe Mack. He took a nasty spill at one point, having taken a spear where the sun doesn't shine, but then he continued to shine and scored a goal after that. 2 goals and 1 assist for Joe Mack. Come on out here and stand on business, Dom. First ever pro hat trick for Dom Dumas, and he dedicates it to Orca Weisblatt. Let's see if we can hear what Dom has to say. What does Dumas hope we do for the rest of the weekend? Just keep standing on business. That's what the 23 design first star of the night did tonight. His first pro hat trick, just 2 days removed from his first multi-goal game last Friday in Baton Rouge. As we see the 23 design 3 stars of the game, Glukaryov with 3 assists, Joe Mack with 2 goals and a helper, and Dominic Dumas the hat trick hero and first star of the night. Well, it's another exciting Friday night fight for the Rock Lobsters. They come out on the winning end at home once again, but it might be tough to continue on that winning streak. 3 tough games at home at Akins Ford Arena. A rematch between these two teams tomorrow at 7:05 p.m. And it's going to be one to watch, especially with how contentious, yet again, not only that tonight's game was, but this entire season series between these two teams in the Southeast and in the Continental Division. The IceCats trying to scrap for all they're worth to stay in the playoff picture in the Continental, but it's easier said than done with as many times as they play the Rock Lobsters. 18th regulation win for Athens this year. That moves them to 64 points. And in total, that's 23 wins altogether. Undefeated yet again at home. After they take care of Pee Dee, hopefully tomorrow night, they'll welcome the Columbus River Dragons for a Sunday matinee at 4:05 p.m. And if you bring your report card, someone that's obviously under the age of 18, and you bring a report card that has an A on it, you get a discounted seat. So more information on that, rocklobstershockey.com. If you haven't already, make sure you get your tickets now. Tickets are in low supply for tomorrow night's game. It is NASCAR night in the tank. Special racing-themed jerseys, prizes all night long, and appearances from some of your favorite drivers, including Noah Gragson, Daniel Suarez, and Kyle Busch. But that does it for us tonight here at Akins Ford Arena. The Rock Lobsters start off this 3-game weekend set against the Pee Dee IceCats. And there might have been an important football game on tonight, but we had a football score tonight. The Rock Lobsters score a touchdown, get the extra point. IceCats, all they can muster was the field goal. Athens leads 7-3, and they move to 64 points on the year. Could they potentially end the night in the top